You know that HAVN already impressed the market with the HS420 and now they're back with a smaller, denser, airflow focused case that looks minimal, feels premium and performs like it spent 6 months in an F1 wind tunnel. This thing is heavy, overbuilt and unapologetically designed for cooling. Alright, quick pause here, because I know some of you are still rocking that little activate Windows watermark on your desktop. Yep, don't worry, that's where keysfan.com comes in. They've got super affordable legit keys for Windows 10, Windows 11 and even Microsoft Office. No more dropping a fortune just to keep your PC happy. Find the Windows you want at the checkout, enter LUP50 for 50% off on all Windows keys or LUP62 for 62% on any Office products. Check out using your credit card or PayPal, in the matter of seconds you will receive your key. Super cheap, super easy, check the links in the description. Now back to the video. The BF360 Flow is technically a mid-tower case, but it's one of those bulky mid-tower cases. So we're looking here at 515mm long case, 254mm wide case and 522.6mm tall case. And also a very chunky 14.7 kilograms. And yes, you feel all those 14.7 kilos the moment you pick it up. Your back will warn you with a sound signal, trust me. This chassis uses SGCC steel reinforced in all the high stress points to keep the frame solid, rigid and torsion resistant. There is no flex here, no creaking, no squeaking, just a tank of a case with a modern sculpted minimalism to it. The front panel uses HAVN's 5-layer slate texture. It looks like carved stone at first glance, even though it's plastic, and the edges wrap around cleanly into the rest of the chassis. The aesthetic is mature here, understated and very HAVN look-alike. It's engineering first, flashiness second. HAVN sticks to the essentials for the front I/O panel: 2 USB 3.2 Gen 1 Type A ports, 1 USB-C 3.2 Gen Type C port, 1 combo audio jack and 1 power button. It's simple, it's clean, dead center on the top panel and matches the whole no wasted elements vibe of this case. To access the BF360 Flow inside, it's refreshingly easy. The top panel slides off after 2 screws and there is a little strap on the back to pull it up. The front panel pops off with magnets, no force needed at all. The tempered glass side panel uses a single screw plus magnets to hold it in place. And all the panels have rubber insulation so they don't create any noise if for some reason something inside decides to vibrate. The only nitpick here, some of the magnets could be actually a little bit stronger. Not a deal breaker, but on a chassis that weighs almost 15 kilos, I expected a stronger click. This is where HAVN shows their obsessive airflow mindset. The front panel design went through multiple internal revisions. Early prototypes hit around 312 CFM of airflow actually, through the intake. HAVN refined the rib structure again and again until they hit 315.1 CFM, and that became the final version of this case. So behind that rib structure in front is a full height fine mesh to catch dust without choking intake pressure. And the fan and radiator support here is excellent, up to 2 180mm fans, and on the Flow version HAVN ships the case with 2 of the giant 180mm 40mm thick H18 fans. They are designed for both airflow and static pressure. And you can actually mount here 3 120mm or 3 140mm fans, and it fits up to 420mm radiators in the front. And inside the BF360 Flow, it feels very HS420 inspired. Clean lines, efficient layout, and almost everything is modular. Motherboard support here is generous: mini ITX, micro ATX, ATX, extended ATX up to 277mm, and strangely there is no back connect motherboard support. For the component clearances, you have 195mm for the CPU cooler height and 410mm for the GPU length and 200mm for the PSU support. I managed to install even longer PSU, it fits here without any problems. The interior also includes a pivoting GPU support bar. Seriously, look at this thing, it goes up and down, left or right, and even a supporting bar can be rotated 360 degrees, plus it has rubber on it to properly support and reduce any vibrations from the GPU itself. Then there are the cool cable pass-throughs, as HAVN calls them, the Simply Cable Pass-Through grommets. Mouthful. It's a semi-open frame with rubber isolation everywhere. Up top there is a completely removable fan rail bracket which supports two 180mm fans if you remove this metal bar, or two 140 or three 120mm fans, or up to 360mm in radiators. Installation is super convenient, it has rubber dampeners everywhere, so you just put this in and it slides inside and lock itself with two screws. At the rear side there is a place for 120 or 140mm fan. Flow version comes with H14 fan pre-installed, and these fans are super nice, by the way. They have optimized blade design for maximum airflow and pressure. They are 30mm thick as well, and they are of course PWM. Since this case is all about airflow, inside this case it's sculpted like this with intention. There is this angled internal airflow ramp under the front fans that guides cool intake air straight toward the GPU and towards the motherboard area, reducing turbulence and keeping the loop clean. Two massive front fans do not have any gaps at the top or at the bottom, so it's all about the airflow here. The bottom one pushes air directly to the GPU, while the top one covers the top half of the board, mainly for the CPU area, and it actually blows fresh air across the GPU backplate. Around the back, HAVN continues their clean by default cable approach. The Simply cable system routes cables behind vertical grommets to break up the visual clutter. Everything is flat, organized, and surprisingly quick to work with. Every cable has its path already labeled, Velcro straps are everywhere, so cable management here was actually a super clean and super easy thing to do. There's also a 6-port PWM fan hub pre-wired to include all the fans, which is a huge convenience, especially on motherboards that have fewer headers on them. Storage support is also flexible here, up to 4 2.5 SSD or 2 3.5 hard drives in a cool dual style caddies hidden on the back wall. And the PSU basement has enough room for cable slack, cable mess. Though larger PSUs with stiff cables need some muscle to fit neatly, I managed to install the Seasonic TX1300 Prime, which is a monster of a PSU. It fits here without any problems, and actually with a bunch of cables too. The PSU is actually installed from inside of the case, by the way. And if we look at the case from the rear, you can see that PCI brackets have no bars between them, so the use of any aftermarket vertical GPU bracket is supported here. Actually, it's possible. HAVN actually has their own vertical brackets. The BF360 Flow is a thermal monster with HAVN's stock fan setup and Noctua NHU12 on the Ryzen 7 7800X3D. CPU idled at 37 degrees, gaming was at 52 degrees, and maximum was around 79 degrees, which is totally fine for an air-cooled CPU. The RTX 3080 idles at a comfortable 27 degrees, lighter loads were around 45 degrees, while maximum I got here was 57 degrees for max load. Again, for an air-cooled case and sculpted angled intake, this is awesome. For a case with no side intake and such a condensed frame, those numbers are seriously impressive, both for the CPU and for the GPU. Probably an AIO would be slightly better option for the CPU, but I just wanted to see how it copes with an air cooler, and not a large air cooler. And when you add two more H14 fans to the top, which HAVN was kind enough to send separately, of course, the CPU temperatures drop at an extra 1 or 2 degrees. So they stay roughly the same for the GPU, but airflow stabilizes significantly with those two fans added here. And this is one of the best optimized airflow cases I've tested in this size category. Building experience in this case is just an easy job, seriously, it's super easy. Panels come off instantly, maybe too loosely. The top radiator bracket makes cooler installation painless, and the motherboard installation actually as well, because you can install motherboard and just drop in the top panel afterwards. The cable channels behind the motherboard tray are all mapped out, they have their place, and the fan hub keeps wiring simple. The GPU support bracket actually works and is super easy to use, maybe the best implementation of a GPU anti-sag bracket so far. Nothing rattles here, nothing flexes here, nothing feels cheap, so it's just an awesome case. The only downsides of this case are its huge weight, which makes flipping it around a workout session. The PSU basement is slightly tight for oversized power supplies, but again, Seasonic Monster fits without any issues. But outside of those two little quirks, it's one of the most refined building experiences you can get right now. So time for pros and cons. Outstanding airflow and thermal performance. Premium materials and absolutely rock solid construction throughout the case. Included 40mm thick HAVN fans are fantastic in the front and actually in the back. It has excellent cable management system, modular internal design, and the GPU support anti-sag bracket is included here. It's awesomely designed, and you also have labeled screws in the box, which is cool, so you know which screws are for what. And it has thoughtful airflow engineering everywhere. Of course, it has to have some cons. It's very heavy, borderline overbuilt. Magnets on the panels could be a little bit stronger. The white variant isn't fully white inside, there are little discrepancies, plus it also has a lot of black parts, so hence the panda build from my side. And there is no ARGB on the Flow version, which is a plus or a minus, depends how you look at this thing. And the PSU dust filter access isn't actually the best, it's pulled from the backside, and it's just a little small piece. So, the verdict here is that this case is built for people who clearly prioritize engineering over any gimmicks. Everything has a purpose here, from the airflow ramp to the ribbed front panel revisions to the thick high pressure fans inside. It's heavy, it's premium, it's not cheap, but kinda is for the price. $159.99 for the regular one and $180 for the Flow variant, but it delivers performance that genuinely matches the amount of work HAVN put into building this case. So if you want a case that's minimal, refined, airflow optimized, and built like a tank rather than a toy, this thing is phenomenal. It challenges high-end airflow cases head-on and wins in several areas. For enthusiasts, tinkerers, and anyone who cares about thermal efficiency or clean cable work, the BF360 Flow is absolutely worth a shortlist spot. And that's it for the HAVN BF360 Flow, guys. It's a heavy, overbuilt airflow beast with engineering baked into every corner. Hope you liked the video, guys. Sub to the channel, like and share the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.